PSI Basic is an educational course where you, and that's a very important word there, where you challenge yourself to explore, question, and discover your life so that you could expand your personal and professional effectiveness now. And that's an important part of the Basic Seminar. It deals with both your personal and your professional effectiveness. We believe that there's no line of demarcation between your personal life and your professional life. We believe that if you're winning at work and you're having a lot of success at work and things are going great at work, you tend to take that home with you. If things are going good at home and things are going good with your marriage and your children and everything, and you're really winning at home, you tend to take that to work with you. Conversely, if you're struggling at work, there's layoffs or there's deadlines or a lot of pressure or you're getting your pay cut or something like that. If there's a lot of pressure at work, then you tend to take that home with you. Also, if you're going through some personal struggles at home, perhaps a divorce, having some challenges with the children, you do tend to take that to work with you. So in the Basic Seminar, you have an opportunity to examine both your personal and your professional effectiveness so that you could make changes to increase both your personal and your professional effectiveness. So how do we do this? This is one of the biggest concepts we work with, and this comes from psychologists and educators. One of the books that I referred to, there was a book written called Brilliant Babies, Powerful Adults that talks about this. It was written by Dr. John and Susan Mike. And they talk about how from the time we're born until we're 4 years old, we will learn approximately 50% of our behaviors, our beliefs, our thought processes, our habits. 50% of them will be in place by the time we're 4 years old. So when you think about, what a child learns from the time they're born until they're 4, it's pretty amazing. Matter of fact, I don't believe in any time of our life we'll learn as much and as quickly as we do from the time we're 0 to 4. Children learn how to crawl, how to walk, they learn numbers, colors. They learn how to communicate. When you think about what a child learns from 0 to 4, it is pretty amazing. Then from 5 to 9, we pick up about another 30% of our behaviors, our beliefs, and our habits. And then from 10 to 18, we pick up another 15%. So by the time we're 18 years old, when most of us have finished high school or finishing high school, by the time we're 18 years old, we'll have 95% of our behaviors, our beliefs, and our habits in place. So let me show you what that looks like. Okay? So what happens here is as we're growing up, things that we learn from 0 to 18 will really form our thoughts and our thinking. Okay? And then what will happen through our thoughts and our thinking, we'll develop some beliefs. And we'll form beliefs about ourselves, about other people, about the world. And these beliefs will help form and shape our behaviors. Okay? And then, as a result of our behaviors will play a part in forming and shaping our habits. Okay? And in the Basic Seminar, people discover that there's a lot of habits that they have that they're now operating in their adult life. People in the Basic could be in their 20s, their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, and people will discover that they have some habits that they're doing pretty much on autopilot every single day, day in and day out. They're doing things on autopilot because that's the way they learn, that's what they believe, that's the way they've always done it. And in the Basic Seminar, you'll get an opportunity to find out if the beliefs that you have right now, are they supporting you in what you want, or are they limiting you in what you want? And let me give you an example of how powerful our habits are. Just about everybody learns how to drive an automobile at 18 years old, by the time they're 18 years old, 15, 16, 17 years old. And what happens when you first start driving an automobile, you have to consciously think about everything you're doing, okay? You have to consciously think about, especially if you're driving a clutch, about putting in the clutch, letting off the brake, pushing on the gas pedal. And as you consciously learn how to drive that car, the way you learn how to drive it is through practice, repetition, and emotional involvement. You do not learn how to drive that car from reading a book or watching videos in driver education. You learn how to drive the car by getting behind the wheel and actually going through the practice, the repetition, and the emotional involvement. Now, let's say you learned how to drive a car by the time you were 18, and now you're 38 or you're 48 or you're 58. You could be driving that car down the freeway going 65 miles an hour, eating a Big Mac, talking on your cell phone, zipping in and out of traffic, and you're not consciously thinking about how you're driving that car. You're actually driving that car on autopilot. It's a habit. I've often, talked to people that have had an experience where they drove somewhere where they often go, and they get there and they think to themselves, how did I get here? I don't even remember consciously driving the car. Well, they actually drove the car on autopilot, and there's a lot of other things you'll discover in the basic seminar, that there's a lot of other things we do besides driving our car that we do on autopilot without even consciously thinking about it anymore. So what happens in the basic, you get a chance to examine what are some of the thought processes or thinking that help form your beliefs, and then you get a chance to take a look at the behaviors which play into the habits we have, which ultimately create the results we have in our life here. Okay? And in the basic seminar, you get a chance to take a look at the results. And is all of this creating the results that you want? And if you're not creating the results that you want right now in your adult life, if you would want to be, if you're not as successful, if you're not as happy, if you're not as fulfilled as you'd like to be in your life, if you're not creating the results out here that you desire, then in the basic seminar, you have an opportunity to just stop for 3 days and examine your thought process, your beliefs about yourself, about other people, the world. You get an opportunity to take a look at what are your behaviors. You get a chance to take a look at what are your habits, what are some of the things you do on autopilot. Because I've found that people tend to reject or resist what comes from the outside. People tend to embrace or accept what comes from within. So when people make their own discoveries here, what's working for them and not working, people are much more willing to shift or change or do something different. And I think this is an important part to cover. The PSI Basic Seminar will not change you. You may change as a result of what you learn about yourself here, and when you change, everything around you will change. However, the PSI Basic Seminar will not change you.